Alright, ladies and gents, this is the overview of your design assignment that you will be completing while I am away. So you will have a look on my tutor and you will get this document that you're seeing on the screen in front of you. It is attached to the assignment on my tutor. So let's have a look at this quickly. Congratulations, you have been awarded the opportunity to tender for a design contract. The Robinsons, a very wealthy family, have contracted a handful of design students to design a vase to hold flowers. The material selection is up to you, the designer, but strength and aesthetics are high on the agenda of the family. The family would like to use the vase as a centerpiece in the home, but also as a family heirloom to pass on to the next generations. They will look at all of the design tenders and select a design that they feel will fit their situation the best. The winning vase will be 3D printed and given to the student that designed it. Alright, so basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be designing a vase for me. And I will have a look through all the vases, and during the marking process I will select the best vase and I will actually have it 3D printed for you, and you will get that model sort of as a reward for the assignment. So what I need from you is the following. In order to get the design tender, you will have to submit a design report in Word format on my tutor no later than 11 o'clock on the 26th of June 2015. That will be the last day before the holidays, the Friday. The following will have to be included in your design report. First of all, the objectives, then material selection, technical approach, prototypes, and final design. Okay, the objective. The objective should outline what you are designing, what the purpose is, and what you would like the outcomes of the design to be. You can include where you got the inspiration for your design and how you want to implement that. Alright, so what I'm looking for here in objectives is I'm looking for maybe you say you were inspired by a certain car, or you were inspired by mountains, or by a certain building, or whatever the case might be. So perhaps, for example, I'm inspired by mountains, so I'm going to make my vase curvy, and I'm going to take natural colors occurring in mountains, which would be blues and greens, and I'm going to make my vase out of that. That's what I want to know in your objective. The next is your material selection. What I want to know here is what different materials you considered and why you selected what you did. So exactly what I want to know is, I want to know these are 4 materials are considered. So for example, glass, aluminium, steel, and carbon fiber. And I want to know why you ended up choosing whatever material you did for your final product. So if you think carbon fiber is going to be the best option for your vase, then justify why you think so. Remember that looks could also be important on this one. You could say you really like the look of carbon fiber, and you have inspiration from your car, and that's why you decided carbon fiber. Whatever the case might be, I want you to justify why you picked that material. Remember that the cost should be considered here, although it's not so important because the Robinsons are quite rich, so that's not really that important. But you should think about cost and manufacturability. If you're going to use weapons grade titanium, it might be very difficult to manufacture that thing. But anyway, I just want to know why you selected whatever material you did. In the next section, technical approach. I want to know the process that you used in SolidWorks to create the design, okay, as well as the mass, volume, and center of mass of your final design. I want to know, I used the revolve function, and I used the spline tool because the spline tool is the smoothest, and then I used the shell tool to shell the inside, and this gave me a mass, volume, and center of mass of whatever the case might be. So that's all I want to know in technical approach. Prototypes. Obviously, you can't get from concept to reality in one single step. There needs to be some vases that you tried along the way. And what I'm looking for in prototypes over here is, I'm looking for fully rendered pictures of 4 prototype designs that you didn't select. Okay, let's just read that section of work. Prototypes. Here you should include at least 4 prototype designs that you decided were not appropriate for the client. These designs should be fully rendered, and pictures are to be included in your report. Give a brief description as to why you did not decide to use the vase as your final prototype. So what I'm looking for here is vase number one. I didn't like this vase because I felt it was top heavy and it would fall over if there's flowers in it. Vase number two, I didn't like the coloring on this vase, or I didn't like it, it was too thick, or whatever the case might be. I just want to see 4 different prototypes, the pictures of them fully rendered, and then why you decided not to use each one of those in your final prototype. Lastly is the final design. This here, over here, you will outline why this is your final design. What made you select this vase above the others? Include a full rendered image of your vase in an appropriate scene. So you're going to select a scene for your vase and do a fully rendered image of it. You can even include 1 or 2 different images, it doesn't really matter. But I do want to know why you selected this as your final design. Okay, so basically, you're going to design a vase for me in SolidWorks. You're going to render, well, you should have at least 5 vases by the end of the day. You're going to render them and you're going to submit it on my tutor in Word format. You'll type a Word document and insert those pictures into your Word document. Okay, so there basically are 3 ways which we can draw this vase. Well, there's lots, but I'm just going to highlight 3 of them for you. The first way, all of them are revolves, by the way, but the first one is what I call the solid shell method. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a solid vase and we're going to use the shell function afterwards to round it off. Sometimes the shell function is a little bit difficult to use, but nevertheless, I'm going to show it to you anyway. Alright, so what we do here is we're going to obviously start with a center line because we're going to do a revolve. And we're going to draw half the front cross-sectional profile, obviously, as we always do. Now, these designs do not have to be fully defined, but I do suggest that you have some sort of guideline of height. Perhaps this is a bit small. Okay, some sort of guideline of height just to help you. All right, so I'm going to start with the base, and in fact, let me draw that again. Start with the base like this, and now I'm going to go to a 3-point arc. Alright, that, another arc, okay, and another arc. Okay, and remember, you're going to want to close this all the way up. Okay, so there's my vase. You could have also used straight lines and then filleted the edges if you like. It's absolutely up to you. But this is just one method, right? So now we're going to use the revolve function. And we revolve that, excuse me. And there we have our vase. Now we're going to use the shell function to empty out the inside of this vase. So over here, you'll find shell. And the way the shell function works is this is going to be the wall thickness of your vase when you finish. So obviously I want mine to be a little bit thinner. I'll make 3 millimeters, and whatever face you select over here is going to be the face that is open at the end of the day. So if you do not select any faces here, your vase will be hollow inside. It will not have an opening. So I want this surface over here, this top piece, to be open. So I click on that. Click on shell, and it gives me an error. So let's try increasing this. Like I said before, the shell function is a little bit fussy. Okay, let's go back to the sketch. Let's have a look what's going on here. Sometimes with the shell function, if you round off corners like these using the fillet tool, it sometimes helps. So let's just see here. That's too much. Okay, we'll just try to round off all these sharp edges. Okay, let's try again. Features. Apply that shell. Okay, also changing this diameter over there also sometimes helps. There we go. Let's make that a bit less, maybe. See if we make it 3. Great stuff. Check it out. Okay, there is my vase. It's hollow. Let's quickly just cut this, and you can see it's shelled inside, and we're good to go. All right. The next method is what I call the thin revolve. The thin revolve is very similar to this, except that we're not going to use the shell function afterwards. So what you do here is we're going to draw half the front cross-sectional profile again, except we're only going to draw a single line this time. So you can choose any of these methods. Too much in a hurry there. Okay, again, I'm just going to draw this for a guideline. You can make the vase as big as you like. Well, not really. I mean, it still needs to be practical. All right, in this case, I am also going to use a different tool to make my vase. It's called the spline tool. And here it is, spline, right? And the spline tool allows us to make a bit of a smoother looking surface on our vase, right? And you can see this makes for some pretty nice curves. Okay, and obviously we double click again once we're done with our spline. Okay, I'm going to fill in the bottom edge, just this corner. Let's make that a bit bigger. Okay, basically we're now going to leave the vase just like this, and we're going to do a revolve. Okay, and it's going to give you this error. We're going to say no, because we want a thin revolve. And over here, you can then set the thickness of your vase. So let's make it 3 millimeters. Okay, obviously the error message just said you want to close the contour. We don't want to close the contour. We want to sweep a thin. We want to do a thin revolve around this line. Click the tick, and there is our vase. I quite like that one. All right, the last method, I'm going to keep this one open because I really like it. The last method is offset. What you can do is you can draw a vase with an offset. So basically what you do, again, you start on the front plane, sketch a center line, okay, and then you can draw the profile of your vase. This time around, I'm going to draw a squarish vase, right? I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to just draw. This is not going to be a great vase, but I just want to show you different options, right? Okay, so there is my profile, and I'm going to fill in the corners, make that a bit smaller, just to make it look a bit rounder. Okay, again, you can use this in any combination with the other tools. It's not set in stone. So I'm going to move this out a little bit. Okay, maybe you draw your inspiration from somewhere other building and you want to actually have a square vase like this. It's up to you. Okay, move this in a little bit again. Okay, so like I said before, this is called the offset method. What we can do here is you can offset this line by whatever distance you want. So if we look here, there's offset entities, click on that, and we select all the lines that you want to offset, right? We want to offset it by 3 millimeters, and let's change the direction. Okay, and basically, I'm just going to close this profile off the top and the bottom end. Okay, and features, revolve, and there you have your vase. Also no need for the shell function. Actually, that one didn't come out too bad. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this other vase over here, this one that I drew because I kind of like the look of this one. Now what you're going to do for me is you're going to render this. You're going to make an image of this, and we've spoken about rendering before, in that it's like making a photo of how this thing would look if we had to manufacture it in real life. The first thing we need to do is up here under tab on Office Products, we need to switch on PhotoView 360. Right? So we're going to switch it on, and you'll see a brand new tab opens over here called Render Tools. Open this tab. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to say Edit Appearance. Right? And you could have selected your material from here already, like I've showed you in class before, but for a rendering, it's a better solution to say Edit Appearance. Right? So we click on Edit Appearance, and over here at Appearances, look through here, and we can select an appearance based on our vase. So you see there's all sorts of plastics in here, there's all sorts of metals, there's glass, there's a lot of things. So I'm going to make mine out of blue glass, because I said to you earlier that I'm inspired by the mountains. So if you look at my vase, it looks like the curves of the mountains, perhaps, and I like the blue of mountains. I'm going to go gloss, right, and perhaps let's go with blue glass. Very original. Okay, and you just simply click and drag this texture onto your vase, and you will see this will now already start looking a little bit like blue glass. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to edit your scene. So up here at the top, we're going to click on Edit Scene. Now in your scenes over here, you'll find there's a whole bunch of basic scenes, as well as a whole bunch of studio scenes, presentation scenes, and a whole bunch of backgrounds. Now it's quite important that you pick the right kind of background for your vase. I'm just going to do a basic scene to start off with. I'm going to start with this one. Okay, we just double click on the scene to apply it. Okay, so I'm going to go 3-point faded. That is very much like the scene we have. Let's do something else. Let's do this one, studio room, right? Just for a bit of difference. Okay. Now the thing is, the picture you see here is not the picture you're going to get if you do a render of this object. So what we're going to do is we need to switch on the preview window. But before we do that, we just need to double check your options. If you come here to options, you can see here output image size, right? We don't want 800 by 600. We want full HD, right? For your report, 800 by 600 will probably be fine, but I want to have a nice full HD photo over there. So I select 1920 by 1080. You can select all these things and change them according to your desire. But this should be more than ample for your report. So 1920 by 1080, click the tick. Now we want to preview what this is going to look like without rendering it yet. So we're going to go preview window. Okay, click OK. And this will open a window that's going to show us what this is going to look like, in which orientation it's going to look like once we finish rendering it. Now it does take a little bit of time to open. If your computer is slower, it will take even longer than this. Okay, you can see it's more or less the same. I do want my vase to be a bit bigger, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit like that. And I'm quite happy with the position of my vase there. It looks good to me. And then the final step is we click on Final Render. Final Render. And you will see that it's going to whiz around with a whole bunch of blocks. And the computer is actually busy rendering this as we speak. The more processes you have, the more blocks will be shown over there. Okay, you'll see I have 4 because this is a quad core. If you have a hex core, an octa core, there'll be more blocks there. But I doubt many of you will have that. Okay, lovely sound. That tells us our image is ready. We can now save the image. Click on Save Image. JPEG is a good format, and I'm going to save it as vase 1. Okay. I just want to show you quickly how you could actually change the background to an image. Again, you can come here to, I'm going to edit my appearance as well. I'm going to go with clear glass this time. Okay, and we're going to edit the scene. And let's go for a nice background. Scenes, backgrounds. Okay, let's go presentation scenes, and we're going to put this Ugh, landscape. Nah. Alright, there we go. Put this in a nice outdoorsy sort of scene. Okay, click the tick. You can move this around, but it's a very good idea if you just view your, so you go your preview window, just view this beforehand. I didn't really change much, so it shouldn't have changed. Okay, obviously it's a bit difficult to see my vase here. Okay, this wouldn't be a great render, but that doesn't really matter. I just want to show you what's possible. Okay, and we click on Final Render. And off it goes. Lovely sound. Let's save this. I'm going to call it vase number 2. Okay, and this you can save it on your flash drive or whatever, and you can actually put this straight into Word as a JPEG image. Obviously not this file, your renderings. My renderings are on my desktop. Let's go and check them out. Let's close all of this. Right, there is my one vase, and my other vase is there. Let's have a look. Okay, there's my vase. It's rendered. It's a JPEG image. You can pop this into Word. I'll show you now how to do that. Okay, here's the other one. That actually looks quite lacquer. I didn't think that would look so nice. Okay, so if you want to get this into Word, you go Microsoft Word, insert, picture. Mine's on my desktop. And let's put that one in, insert, and there it is. Okay, if you want to make a comment about this picture, you can right click and you can say insert caption, and you can say figure 1. You can change this, it doesn't matter. Figure 1, prototype 1 of vase not selected because of volume and smoothness, or whatever. I mean, this, I'm just making this up. Okay, it's okay, and that will actually come in as together with your image. And as you move your image around, your caption is going to go with it. So, ladies and gents, this is what I want from you. You're going to type your things in Word, as well as a cover page, all those lovely things. And for each prototype, and each design, each picture you put in, you just put a caption telling me why you selected it or why you didn't, or whatever the case might be. All right, so I think that's all you need to know for this assignment, especially if I spelled the course correctly. That's all you need to know for this assignment. Enjoy, good luck, and remember that whoever wins, well, whichever vase I think is the best, I'm going to 3D print that vase and I will give it to you to keep as a memento. Good, enjoy it.